Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the Pack Family Committee YouTube channel. My name is Solo, my pronouns are he, him, his, and today I'm excited to be sharing with you all some seasonal science experiments. So these are really cool experiments that are pretty easy to do from home. You might even have all the ingredients just lying around already, and they all have to do with our upcoming holidays. So yeah, stay tuned and let's get right into it.
Alright, so for our first experiment, we're going to be making dancing corn kernels. And remember guys, if I'm going too fast at any point, just hit the pause button and allow yourself to catch up. So make sure, first off, you're going to be grabbing your ingredients, and make sure to grab an adult too. You're going to want an assistant. I'm using a baking tray below my jar for this experiment just to keep things clean. So I'm going to grab some popping corn kernels, my vinegar, we're going to need some baking soda, and we're also going to need some water. About 2 cups, and a mason jar is what I'm using. You can use any tall glass, and of course your safety goggles. Safety is priority number 1. So we're going to start off by pouring that 2 cups of water, and remember all the recipes will be in the description of this video. If you need to reference the exact amounts or the exact instructions for these experiments, I would highly recommend that. So I'm adding my 2 cups of water to the mason jar here, and then we're going to add a few tablespoons of baking soda, and we're going to give that a nice stir once I add that in there, just to dissolve all that baking soda into the water. So give it a good stir. It may not dissolve all the way, but you want it to look pretty much dissolved. Alright, next we're going to add some corn kernels. So these are the fun part. It's going to be the main attraction of our experiment here. You don't need to add too many, just about a 1/4 cup. And then lastly, we're going to be adding our vinegar. So this is where the reaction happens. And I'm going to start off by adding the vinegar really slowly. So you don't have to add a ton. You don't have to add it all at once. And you'll notice just when I add it here, the reaction starts taking place already. It might take a second, so again, just add that vinegar kind of slowly at first and just watch. I added a little more here. Yeah, so after about 10-15 seconds, maybe a little longer, you should notice these corn kernels start to jump around and move up and down within your glass. So it might seem like magic, but there actually is some science behind this. What's happening here is an acid-base reaction between the vinegar and the baking soda. So the vinegar is a liquid acid, and the baking soda is a solid base, and when those two combine in the water, they actually produce carbon dioxide gas, or CO2 gas. Those are those little bubbles that you can see around the corn kernels. Here I'm adding some more vinegar. But yeah, okay, moving on to our next experiment. We're going to be making Cranberry Spy Juice. So for this, you'll be able to write an invisible message on a piece of paper, and then when you put that paper into cranberry juice, the invisible message will appear. So the ingredients for this are half a bag of cranberries, which you can find at your grocery store. You might have lying around. Some baking soda, some printer paper to write on, and a homemade pen. So I'm using a little paintbrush, but you can use anything with an absorbent tip. So you're going to start by boiling about 3 cups of water and then putting in the cranberries. You're going to want a parent or older teenager to do this, just to be safe. After a while, those cooked berries should start popping, and at that point you're going to want to smush them all down. I'm using a spatula here, kind of just get that juice out. Let's just squish that out. After that, you're going to pour that cranberry juice berry mixture into a colander, as I'm doing here, just to strain all that juice out and keep those solid berries out of the mix. So I'm going to take that little container of my cranberry juice, which is very hot, so be careful, and I'm gonna set it down to cool off for a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna prepare my invisible ink. So for this, you're gonna want to take about a few teaspoons of baking soda and dissolve them in about a 1/3 cup of warm water. So get that warm water, throw in those teaspoons of baking soda, mix it pretty well, and then you can write your message. So get that paintbrush or homemade pen or whatever, and write whatever you want on that paper. Then you're going to put that message, once it's dried, into the cranberry juice, the cooled cranberry juice mixture. And I mean, this is kind of obvious what my message is already, but you're going to let it soak in there. Hopefully the juice will soak into the paper. And then when you take it out, it it should dry and kind of show what the message is. I think I didn't let my message dry out that long, so it didn't show up great, but maybe you guys could do a better job than me. Now, just like with that last experiment, there is some science behind the magic here too. Cranberries contain these things called pigments, or more specifically anthocyanins, which give them their bright red color. Now, when these anthocyanins are exposed to acidic things like cranberries, they show up as the color red, but when they're exposed to basic things like baking soda, in this case, they turn purple or blue. That's why we see that clear difference in color when we put that mixture together.
Alright, well that's pretty much all from me. Thanks for watching, everyone. Smash that like button and be sure to keep an eye on our channel. We'll be posting videos all week, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you later.